My fiancé declared, "Your career is going nowhere. I can't marry a loser." I nodded. Fair assessment. Then I let her discover the startup equity I'd been sitting on was worth $8 million after the IPO. Her engagement ring looked cheap in the photos with my new girlfriend. Original post I-31 male was sitting at our kitchen table 3 months ago when Melissa, 29, dropped the bomb. We'd been engaged for 8 months, together for 3 years. She walked in from her girls' brunch, designer bag on her shoulder, fresh manicure gleaming, and just stood there looking at me with this expression of disgust. "We need to talk," she said, pulling out the chair across from me like she was about to conduct a performance review. I closed my laptop. "Okay. Thomas, I've been thinking about us, about our future." She examined her nails. "Your career is going nowhere. You've been at that startup for 4 years making pennies. Meanwhile, Brandon, you remember Jessica's fiancé? Just made partner at his firm. 6 figures, Thomas. That's what successful men our age make." I stayed quiet. Let her continue. "I can't marry a loser. I won't be that woman at country club events whose husband works at some no-name tech company nobody's heard of. It's embarrassing." The thing is, she wasn't entirely wrong about the salary. I was making $65,000 as a senior developer at a fintech startup. Not poverty wages, but not impressive by her standards either. What Melissa didn't know, what I'd never explicitly told her because she never asked about anything beyond my monthly contribution to our bills, was that I was employee number 12. With equity. "Fair assessment," I said. She blinked. "That's it? Fair assessment? You've made your position clear. What do you want me to say?" "I want you to fight for us. Promise you'll get a real job. Show some ambition." "My ambition is fine, Melissa. It's just not aligned with your vision anymore, apparently." She slid the engagement ring across the table. "Then we're done. I'll be staying with Jessica until you move out." "The apartment's in my name," I reminded her. "Then I'll get my things tomorrow." She stood up, grabbed her bag. "You know what? I'm doing you a favor. Maybe this will motivate you to actually make something of yourself." After she left, I opened my laptop back up and refreshed my email. The subject line I'd been waiting for: confidential, IPO timeline and blackout period information. We were going public in 6 weeks. Update 1. The IPO happened 2 weeks ago. The lockup period for employees doesn't end for another 4 months, but the numbers are public now. My 0.8% stake? Worth about $8.2 million at current trading price. Obviously can't sell yet, but the writing's on the wall. Melissa found out through the worst possible channel. Her cousin Derek works in investment banking, and his firm was one of the underwriters. He texted her a screenshot of some internal analysis with a note: "Didn't your ex work there? Dude must be loaded now, lol." The text started immediately. "Melissa, we need to talk. Thomas, please respond. I know about the IPO. This is really immature, ignoring me. I'm coming over." She showed up at my apartment on a Thursday evening. I was cooking dinner for myself when the doorbell rang, answered it to find her standing there in the same outfit she wore at our second date. Subtle. "Thomas?" She tried for a smile. "You look good." "Thanks. What do you want, Melissa?" "Can I come in, just to talk?" "We can talk here." Her face twitched. "Don't be like that. We have history." "We do. You ended it. Called me a loser, if I recall correctly." I was stressed. You know how Jessica gets in my head. She's always comparing Brandon to everyone and... "Melissa." I cut her off. "What do you want?" The mask slipped for a second, pure calculation in her eyes. Then back to sweet mode. "I made a mistake. I love you. I never should have. You found out about the IPO. That's not... Okay, yes, Derek told me. But it made me realize I threw away something special because of stupid social pressure. You threw away something because you thought I was poor. That's not fair. Your exact words were, 'I can't marry a loser.' People say things when they're emotional. You can't hold that against me forever. We were together 3 years, Thomas. Doesn't that count for something?" I thought about it. It counts for exactly what it was. A relationship where you cared more about status than partnership. I'm seeing someone now, by the way. That hit. Her face went pale, then red. It's been 2 months. 3 months, and yes, I met someone. Her name's Amy. She's a teacher. A teacher? The sneer was automatic. How much does she make? 40 grand? See that right there? That's why we're not together. Goodbye, Melissa. started to close the door. She put her hand on it. Wait, I still have some things here. You cleaned out your stuff 3 months ago. My grandmother's earrings, the pearl ones, they're in the bathroom cabinet. I knew this game. There were no earrings, but I was curious how far she'd take it. Fine. Wait here. Went to the bathroom, came back. Nothing there. Can I just look, please? They mean everything to me. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She made a beeline for the bathroom, then emerged looking defeated. I'm sorry, I thought they were here. She glanced around the apartment, taking in the new furniture, the upgraded TV. Her eyes landed on a photo on the side table, me and Amy at a brewery last weekend. She's cute, she said flatly. She is. Does she know? About the money? She knows I have equity. She doesn't know the amount, doesn't care either. Right, sure she doesn't. Projection doesn't look good on you, Melissa. Update 2. The escalation was swift and predictable. After Melissa left that night, she went into full damage control mode. First came the social media campaign. She started posting these cryptic quotes about forgiveness and true love conquering all. Tagged me in old photos with captions like, "Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. TBT meant to be." Amy saw them. We were having coffee when she pulled out her phone, laughing. "Your ex is having a moment," she said, showing me the latest post. A photo from Melissa's birthday dinner last year with a wall of text about growing from mistakes. Yeah, she found out about my company going public. Amy stirred her latte. "The timing is suspicious. You think?" We both laughed. Then Melissa escalated to targeted strikes. She reached out to my sister Emma, who she'd always claimed to dislike. Emma called me later that week. "Why is Melissa texting me about your mental health crisis and how she's worried about you?" "Because she found out I'm about to have money." "Ah, should I block her?" "Your call." "Already did. Just wanted to confirm she was being crazy." The real comedy started when Melissa enlisted her mother, Patricia. This woman had barely acknowledged my existence for 3 years. I wasn't country club material after all. Suddenly she was calling me. "Thomas, dear." Patricia's voice was sugar sweet. "I heard about your success. Congratulations." "Thanks, Patricia." Melissa is just devastated about how things ended. She realizes she made a terrible mistake. "That's unfortunate. You young people and your pride. She loves you. Surely that means something?" It might have before she called me a loser and dumped me for not making enough money. She was confused. You know how pressure affects young women, the wedding industry, society's expectations. Patricia, she's a 29-year-old adult who made a choice. I've moved on. With some teacher, I heard. The disdain dripped through the phone. "Thomas, be realistic. Melissa is a catch. She comes from good family. She has an MBA. She revealed her true character. Thanks for calling. Have a nice day." Hung up on my almost mother-in-law. That felt pretty good, not gonna lie. Update 3. Last week was when things went completely off the rails. Melissa apparently decided that if she couldn't win me back with manipulation, she'd try to nuke my new relationship. Amy called me on a Tuesday afternoon. She teaches 5th grade and never calls during school hours, so I knew something was up. "Hey, did you give my school email to anyone?" "No, why?" "I got an interesting message from someone named Jessica claiming to be a concerned friend, warning me about your history of emotional manipulation and financial abuse." My stomach dropped. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious. Want me to forward it?" The email was a masterpiece of lies. According to Jessica, clearly ghostwritten by Melissa, I had hidden assets during our relationship, been emotionally abusive and controlling, cheated multiple times, used my new money to buy affection. Amy was laughing by the time I finished reading it out loud. "The best part," she said, "is they sent this to my professional email, which means IT flagged it and my principal had to review it. She called me in thinking I was in danger." "Oh God, Amy, I'm so sorry." "Don't be." I printed it out and explained the situation. My principal, she's like 65, been through 3 divorces, just goes, "Honey, any man who's got an ex that crazy must be worth keeping." We were both laughing, but I was furious. They'd crossed a line trying to mess with Amy's job. That evening, I did something I probably shouldn't have. Posted a single photo on Instagram, me and Amy at this nice steakhouse, her hand visible with a simple silver bracelet I'd bought her. Caption: happiness is finding someone who valued you at your $65,000 salary. The rest is just noise. My phone exploded within minutes. Melissa, that was cruel and unnecessary. Wow, showing off your new money already? Classy. Brandon, dude, can you tell your ex to stop crying at our apartment? It's been 3 hours. Patricia, you'll regret this disrespect, Thomas. The next morning, something even wilder, I got a LinkedIn notification that Melissa had endorsed me for financial planning, wealth management, and high net worth relations. Then she messaged me on LinkedIn. Thomas, I hope you're well. I wanted to reach out professionally to apologize for any misunderstandings in our personal relationship. I've been doing a lot of growing and would value the opportunity to have a closure conversation. I'm also available if you need any assistance with financial planning given your recent liquidity event. As you know, my MBA concentrated in wealth management. Best, Melissa. I screenshot it and sent it to my group chat. My buddy Kevin responded, "Bro, she's trying to get hired as your gold digger." Update 4. The extinction burst came 2 days ago. Though I guess every story has one of those. But this was special because Melissa managed to recruit the most unlikely ally, my ex-roommate Garrett, who I hadn't talked to in 2 years. Garrett texted me out of the blue. "Hey man, heard about your windfall, congrats. Also, Melissa reached out, she's willing to pay me $500 to accidentally run into you and talk her up. Wanna mess with her?" Garrett and I had lived together for a year before I met Melissa. He knew exactly what kind of person she was. She'd once tried to get me to kick him out, so her friend could move in and pay higher rent. "I'm in," I replied. "What's the plan?" Garrett met with Melissa at a coffee shop while secretly recording, legal in our state. She laid out this whole strategy. He was supposed to randomly run into me at my gym, mention how broken up she was, how she'd been going to therapy, how she'd turned down other guys because she couldn't stop thinking about me. "I'll pay you another $500 if you can get him to meet me for coffee," she told Garrett. What if he's happy with the new girl? He's not. He's just rebounding. Thomas doesn't move on that fast. I know him. The delusion was real. Garrett played along, took the $500, then sent me everything. We decided to have some fun with it. I had Garrett text her, ran into him, he seemed receptive, mentioned he still has that watch you gave him. She'd never given me a watch. But suddenly, "Melissa, he still wears it. That means something. What else did he say?" "He asked about you, said you looked good in your recent photos." "Which photos? The one from yoga or the beach?" "The beach one." There was no beach photo. She'd posted nothing but inspirational quotes for weeks, but she replied, "I knew that bikini would get his attention." Garrett kept her going for 3 days, getting increasingly ridiculous. Told her I'd mentioned missing her lasagna, she never cooked, that I'd kept our song as my alarm, we didn't have a song, that I'd been asking about her to mutual friends. I hadn't. She was eating it up, sending Garrett detailed instructions on what to say, how to arrange an accidental meeting. She even Venmo'd him the additional $500 in advance. Then Garrett sent her one final text. "Just so you know, I've been screenshotting everything and sending it to Thomas. He says thanks for the $1,000, we're using it for his date night fund with Amy." Radio silence for about 30 seconds. Then, the nuclear meltdown. She called Garrett 17 times in a row, left voicemails threatening legal action for fraud and emotional distress. She texted me directly, "That was theft, I'll sue both of you." "For what?" "Garrett provided exactly the service you paid for, talking to me about you. Not his fault you didn't specify the nature of the conversation. You're a monster. I loved you. You loved my perceived net worth. There's a difference." Final update. It's been a week since the Garrett situation, and I think we've finally reached the conclusion of this ridiculous saga. Melissa made one last desperate play. She showed up at my office building during lunch yesterday. Full hair and makeup, wearing the dress from our first date. Yeah, she remembered, holding a box. Security called up to warn me. I came down with 2 colleagues who were heading to lunch anyway. Witnesses are always good. "Thomas," she rushed over, trying to hug me. I stepped back. "What are you doing here, Melissa?" She held out the box. "I wanted to return these things of yours I found while packing." I looked in the box. Some old t-shirts I didn't care about, a coffee mug, and my college textbooks I'd thrown away years ago. She must have dug them out of the dumpster or something. These were in the trash. I saved them. I knew they meant something to you, just like we meant something. My colleague Derek coughed to hide a laugh. Melissa, we're done. This needs to stop. Her face crumpled, then hardened. You know what? You're right. We are done, because I realize now what kind of person you really are. You hid your equity from me. You never asked about my work. You let me think you were poor. I made $65. That's not poor, that's just not enough for your standards. You planned this. You wanted to humiliate me. I wanted to work at a company I believed in. The money was a possibility, not a guarantee. You left because you couldn't brag about me at brunch. That's on you. She turned to my colleagues. He's not who you think he is. He's manipulative and cruel and… Ma'am, Derek interrupted. I've worked with Tom for 3 years. You're the one who dumped him for being too poor, and now you're here because he's not. We all know what this is. The security guard had been watching and finally stepped over. Miss, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. She grabbed my arm. I'm pregnant. Everything stopped. Then I laughed. Couldn't help it. Melissa, we haven't had sex in 4 months. Try again. Her face went red. I meant, I might be, from before. 4 months. Also, you posted Instagram stories drinking wine, literally yesterday. The security guard gently but firmly moved her toward the exit. As she was leaving, she turned back. You'll regret this. When your little teacher gets tired of your boring ass and leaves you for someone who doesn't have to hide behind money, you'll come crawling back. Good luck with everything, Melissa. That evening, Amy came over with takeout. I told her about the lunch drama. She said she was pregnant. Amy was crying from laughing so hard. That's like sitcom-level desperate. The wine story from yesterday was the cherry on top. You know she'll probably try again when you can actually sell your shares. Probably. But by then, I'll have a restraining order if needed. Amy curled up against me on the couch. For what it's worth, I'm glad she dumped you. Otherwise, I'd never have met you at that terrible trivia night. We came in last place. Because you thought the capital of Australia was Sydney. It should be Sydney. We argued about Australian geography, ate Chinese food, and watched terrible reality TV. No designer bags, no country club conversations, no judgment about salary disparities. Just normal. Melissa texted one more time around midnight. I hope she's worth losing your soulmate over. I deleted it without responding and turned off my phone. Amy was already asleep, wearing my old startup t-shirt that Melissa had always said was embarrassing. Yeah, she's worth it. As for Melissa, last I heard from mutual acquaintances, she's dating some cryptocurrency guy who claims he's about to make it big. Jessica's boyfriend Brandon apparently asked her to stop bringing Melissa around because she spent the entire dinner talking about missed opportunities and timing. The equity lockup ends in 3 months. I'll probably sell enough to buy a modest house, pay off my parents' mortgage, and keep the rest invested. Amy and I are planning a camping trip for that weekend. She doesn't know the exact date significance, and honestly, that's perfect. The revenge wasn't really about the money or showing off. It was about not giving in to someone who only saw my worth in dollar signs. Melissa wanted the successful boyfriend she could brag about. She got exactly that. Just not with me. The best part? She has to watch from the sidelines as the loser she dumped lives the life she thought she deserved, while she's still chasing the next meal ticket. That's better than any revenge I could have planned.